Hi, my name is Hamid. I'm an instructor at ASM Educational Center. Today I want to talk about how we can create a VPC on Amazon AWS. So what's going to happen, here's our diagram let me make it bigger for you. We're going to create a brand new region at 10.0.0.0/16. Then what we're going to do, we're going to have two subnet. One is a public subnet, 10.0.10/24 and 10.0.2/16. So whenever we have 10.0.0.16, that means these first two is going to act like a network, and the last two is going to be network ID and host. So that means it could be at 10.0.10, 10.0.20, 10.0.30, and so on. Okay, and we're going to have to create public subnet here and private subnet here. Then what we're going to do, we're going to open up a web server here, and we can see that these guys can get access to internet through internet gateway, and also private subnet, they would not be access to here. But if you SSH or RDP to public subnet here, from here you can access to this private subnet. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to console, AWS console. Right now I'm at the region. Right now I pick Ohio because I have nothing there. I pick Ohio. Okay, now what I do, I create a bunch of shortcut here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to VPC. Okay, as soon as you do open up the VPC, the best way to do, let's see what we have. This is a default is. So when I click VPC, I can see that this is 172.30. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to click inside and call that default. So it's always good to see what we have here. Okay, so we have one, oops, sorry about that, default VPC. So I'm going to check market, so we know this has been created. Okay, now when I go to subnet, by default I have what, 3 subnets. So I'm going to highlight this also, default subnet, let's say 1. Okay, sorry about that, default subnet 1, check mark, default, oops, sorry that, default subnet 2. Okay, let me copy this, and then subnet what, 3. Okay, so let's go back to our VPC. I created a shortcut top. I'll go to VPC. Okay, and I'm going to create a new what, VPC. Okay, so when I go to this VPC again, you're going to see we have one what, a default VPC. Okay, and you see the IP address is right here. So I'm going to go create default VPC, and I'm going to call this ASM test. Okay, and then I'm going to give the address of that. So I'm going to use 10. I'm going to give you -10.0.0.0. okay, network. Now the block, okay, I'm going to put 10.0.0.0 / what, 16. Okay, and it says that it has to be a slash. It cannot be anything else. You cannot specify IPv4 started larger than /6. So that means I cannot put a / what, 8 or not. See, if I put a /8, it doesn't allow you that. See that? The block size must be between /16 and a /28. So I'm going to put what, 16. Again, a /16 means I'm going to use this as a network ID and as network, and these parts going to be .1, .2, and so on. Okay, and here I have choice of default or what, dedicate. I'm going to leave it as a default. Okay, because we want to create the less expensive one. So I'm going to create that. So let's see what's going to happen here. As soon as I do that, I have this what, VPC right here, ASM test 10.0.0.1. It's always good to rename it that. So this is my what, default VPC. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to here, go to subnet, and create a bunch of subnet. As I mentioned, these are defaults subnet is. So we're going to create a subnet. Let's look at the diagram again. I'm going to have a public subnet, then what, private subnet. So let's do the public first, 10.0.0.1. So I'm going to go back here, create subnets. Okay, the name I'm going to call that. It's always very important to give a name. So I'll call that public subnet 10.0.0.1. 1.0, sorry about that, /24. Now here you have to be careful. You want to add the what? The one you create that right here, okay? All right. Okay, very good. So this is going to be that one, right? And then available zone, I'm going to pick what? All of them to east 2.8, okay? Now here's very important what you do. You got to put 10.0.1.0 / what? 24, because this was the name is. Again, that's what the one is going to be here. So this is our public subnet, and this is going to be what? Our private subnet. If you have another subnet, it could be 10.0.3.0. If you have another one, 10.0.4.0, okay? So very good. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say what? Create what? My what? Subnet. So let's just wait. So right now it's going to create my what? This is public subnet. So let's go create another subnet, okay? Again, the name is very important. So I'm going to call that private subnet 10.0.2.0, okay? Look at the diagram again. So 10.0.2.0, okay? That's the name is. I'm going to make sure pick up correct VPC, which is already selected. Then here, no preference. I'm going to put in the both of them in the east 2A. It doesn't matter which one we're going to pick. I'm going to put 2A. Now here, you got to be careful. 10.0.2.0 / what? 24. Okay, that's the /16 is. That's the section you got to put /24. Okay, create that. All right. So what we did, let's summarize what we did so far. I created what? Let's go pick by the name. I create two subnet, public subnet, private subnet, and that. Okay. Now when I click public subnet, I will see right here it said auto assign public is what? No. For what I'm going to do, I want to make sure that these people they get what? Public assign public IPs. Why? Because we want to do connect to them remotely. So what I'm going to go here, right? Okay, so it's a modify what? Auto assign setting. I'm going to click that. Then here enable what? I want to make sure that these subnet, the one I select, I get a what? Public IP address. So I'm going to save that. So it's a enable auto assign that. Then I'm going to close. Then you're going to see that is what? Right now it says what? Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. That's for that one. Now notice that we're going to have a route table. By default, let me show you what's going to happen here. By default, when I finish these guys can what? Talk to each other, okay? But later on, I want to make sure that these guys be able to access to internet. So in order to do that, I have to create internet gateway. I have to create an internet gateway. But how do I do that? I'm going to go right here. After subnet, I'm going to go where? Right here at the bottom, which is right here, internet gateway right here, okay? So this is what? Attached to what? Main PC. So I'm going to click this again. This is, I'm going to call it default internet gateway, okay? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create my own internet gateway. Create, and I'm going to call that ASM Internet Gateway IGW, okay? So let me hold some backspace. Dash. I'm going to create what? Internet gateway, okay? Now notice that it says attach and detach. So this is attached to default, but I'm going to create what? Attach this to my. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to attach this to VPC. Which one? It's obvious I have to do this one. As you see, I can only one what? VPC. I cannot do multiple VPC. Now look at this. When I click this, click attach, right? So right now it's attached to that. Now let's see if I can create another internet gateway. Let's call that whatever. ASM2 IGW. Yes, create. Even does that, but look at this. When I want to attach to the VPC, I cannot attach that. So what does that mean? That means my diagram, this whole region, right, is only attached to one VPC, 10.1.100.10.0.0.6. I cannot have a two internet gateway. I cannot have two of this. So this is very important to know that for the exam, okay? So let me go delete this guy because I don't need that. So I delete that. Okay. All right. Now, after attaching that, let's look at the route table. Let's see what we have. Now, these are what? The main route table. One is the default. That's the one origin was created. So we have default route table. Okay. And this is the one that what? Assigned by when as soon as do that. So this, I'm going to put a note here, was created when I made what? VPC. Okay, we're going to check this later. Now let's look at it. When I click these routes, okay, by default we have what? 10.1.0.0 route local. Okay, so we have no other table. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this as a default. I'm going to create a new route table. So I'm going to call that ASM public route. Okay, route table. And then I'm going to put it on what VPC? This one. Create that, right? Now watch this. So right now we have ASM public route table, okay? So we leave it like this. There's no zero subnet, it's not associated. But what I'm going to do right here is highlight. I'm going to edit. Then here, I'm going to add another one, route. Why is that? Because I want to make sure everybody from here, they can get out to internet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say what? Add another route. Then I'm going to put what? 0.0.0.0, okay? Slash what? 0. This means anything. When I use tab key, oops, sorry about that. Now look what happened. I can connect to what? ASM EJL internet gateway. I'm going to click that, right? Then I'm going to say what? Saved. So what does that mean? Let's just save it. Okay, right now when I highlighted this one, that's the default. Okay, this means what? This is from origin was connected. Now this one was original. Okay, this means they can talk to each other. Okay, now this one, the one I create that, this means any network 10.10.10, you go local. That means if I have any PC here or instance, they can talk to each other because they are 10.10.10. But if anything else like a 0.0, any other network, go to where? Default gateway. That takes out. Okay. So let's summarize what we did so far. So far I create what? A subnet here and a subnet here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up instance or web server. I'm going to put a web server here so these people can get out to the internet, and also people from outside the world, they can come in. Okay. Then I'm going to create a private subnet here. I'm going to put a web server here so nobody can get access on. Okay, so that's the goal is right now. So in order to do that, I have to go create what? I have to go to my EC2. The EC2 is where you instance you connect. Again, I'm gonna go, you can go to here, okay, then go to where? EC2 right here. Okay, again, I'm in Ohio right now, so there's no instance running, nothing right here. Okay, by default I have a bunch of security group, which we're gonna see that later on, what kind of security guy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna launch what? An instance. Okay, now look at this, we need a pair key. Later on we need a what? Private key to connect to these guys, but we don't have nothing here. Okay, so we need that too also. So I'm gonna say what? Launch what? Instance. All right, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go down, go and pick up Windows. Let's pick something easy, Windows 2008, so we boot up faster. We have 2000 what? 12, we have 2000 what? 16, we have 2006 base, all of that. Then I'll go down, pick the cheapest one, Windows 2000 what? 8. We have R2 SQL Server, all that good stuff. I'm gonna put just Windows 2008 base. Okay, and this is part of free is that, so I want to pick that one. I'm gonna select. Okay, then I'm gonna pick the free one right here. All right, so I'm gonna say next, configure instance that. Again, all of this we're gonna cover that later on, but let's just do basic stuff. Next. Now here, instance 1, so on. Now you gotta make sure you pick the what? Correct what? VPC. Now here you're gonna pick the what? Correct subnet. We want to pick subnet. Now notice as soon as I pick subnet, it's gonna go to where? Enable, because that's what we did. That we did default enable right here. Okay, So I'm going to leave everything default. I'm saying next add storage. Again, I'm going to leave as a storage as what it is right now. Then I'm going to next add tag. Oops. Okay. Let's go back again. So I'm going to go here. Okay, there's no tag here. I'm going to add tag. Let's call it this name. And here I'm going to call ASM Web Server 1 public. Okay, so this is Web Server 1. So eventually we're going to use that one. We're going to say what? Next. Now here is very important. By default, you can do what? RDP, because you want to connect that remotely. So I'm going to create new that, and you want to give it a name. I'm going to call that RDP dash HTTP dash what? HTTPS. So I want to make sure that people can get out. So I'm going to add rule. I'm going to pick what? HTTP, and we're going to cover this more detail right here. Okay, see port range. Custom, I put everything. Okay, source could be what? Anywhere or my IP. So I'm going to put anywhere. Okay, so then anywhere they can connect to here, and then I'm going to add rule. I'm going to pick what? HTTP what? S. Okay, now this is security groupies. Later I'm going to see this security as stateful. That means when you open up the things, they can go and come back. Okay, later on we're going to talk knuckles. Knuckles is stateless, so this is stateful. So that's all we add. HTTP this I'm going to say anywhere. Okay, for security we don't just elaborate, but for your security you're going to say my IP source. Source means you guys. Okay, so that means any of these people they can do HTTP, and any of these people they can do what? HTTPS. And here as anywhere right now I can RDP to this box, which we're going to do that. So review. Okay, then here instant, then we're going to say what? Launch. Okay, now here see there's no what? No keeper. So what I'm going to choose the existing keeper, or what I'm going to do, I'm going to create what? A new keeper. Okay, now I'm going to call that ASM test web VPC. Okay, 10.0.0 network. Okay, so I'm going to call this. I'm going to download what? Create new page and download what? Key pair. Right now it's download right here. Okay, so I'm going to find out where it show location. It's right here. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it in my what? Desktop, so we can see it later on. Paste. So right now right here I put in desktop. Okay, so let's go back here. Then I'm going to say what? Launch what? Instance. Okay, so right now launch instance. Let's see what's happening. Okay, I've come down, then view instance. Again, think of this as a what? A web server. So what's happening right now? Let's look at our diagram. I created what? Public subnets. Then I created what? A private subnet. Now I'm going to put a web server inside here. This is web server 1 is. Okay, I want to make sure these guys can access to what? Internet. Okay, so we have to go check it out. Now right now it says what? Initializing. So we just have to wait to see what's happening here. So let's just wait here. Okay, initializing right now still. Let's refresh it. Okay, so it's still initializing. Okay, so let's go create here. I'll put a name here. Web server 1 dash public. Okay, so you already got a public IP address. Okay, so let's go see what's happening. Okay, so these are the security group. Got it. Okay, this is lunchtime today, and this is the keeper which we're going to use. There's no IPv6, and this is a public IP address. So later on, whatever you want to connect to this web server, we're going to use this public what? IP address. But let's see if it's finished right now. So I'm gonna go refresh it again one more time. Okay, it's running right now. So what we're gonna do, we wanna connect to what? This web server. So how are we gonna do that? We're gonna highlight this one. We're gonna connect. And again, right now we wanna do what? RDP. It says what? Get the what? Password. I don't have a password. I gotta say get the password. Then I have to choose what? Keeper, the one you create that. So I'm gonna say choose file. Then I'll go back to my desktop and I'm gonna put what? This one. This is the one we pick it up. Okay. Then I'm gonna say what? Decrypt what? Password. So here's my password. So I'm gonna highlight this, right click, copy. Then I'm gonna put I create a new text document here. And I call a password for web server 1. Okay. So this is the password for web server 1. Okay. Let's go back to here and see there's a dot is here. Okay, be careful. Then I'm gonna say what? Choose that one. Okay, then I'm gonna download the what? Remote desktop. Now when I go here, it's gonna go here. Okay, so I'm gonna close this guy. Then I'm gonna go here. See, this is a public IP address. I try to what? Open it. Connect. It's trying to connect that right now. Let's see if it's working now. Okay, look what happened. Remote desktop cannot connect to this for one of these. Remote desktop server is not enabled. Remote computer is turned off. Aha, see that? It's off, or the remote desktop is not available on the network. Okay, let's go check it out here, right here. Okay, it's running, and so on. Okay, now here, remember, we gotta have a what? RDP, which we have it. So if I come down, let's see what we have here. Security group. I can view it inbound. If I click here, oops, sorry about that. Let's go down. Okay, we have what? RDP from anywhere. So I should be able to what? Connect. Let's try again. Let's try again. Okay, looks take this time. So let me pause. I think I know what that is. I have to disable my firewall because my PC has my own firewall. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video, then we continue. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, as we see right now, I'm trying to ping what? 13.58.67.7 doesn't work. Why doesn't work? Because remember that under our diagram, okay, I create this public subnet. Now I have to make sure these guys point to my route table. So what I have to do, I have to associate this public subnet to route table. Now if I go back to my VPC right here, okay, let's go back to VPC. On the right side I see what? Route table. Now notice that this is the one we create, that ASM public route table. See, there's a 0 subnet. There's nothing there. Okay, so subnet association, this is the one that we have. This is the internally they can talk, and this is when you want to get the access. But look at here, let's look at here, subnet association. There's nothing associated that. So what I have to do, I have to link this route table to public subnet address. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click edit. Okay, then I'm going to what? Pick the public, and I say save. As soon as I do that, let's just wait what happened. Right now is what? This is public. Now if I look at my ping, let's see if it's coming up right now. Okay, now the ping does not come up. Okay, that could be another reason. It could be ICMP not working like that. But let's see if I can let me break this ping. Okay, now let's go back and try to see if I can do RDP. Okay, let's say connect. And right now C is trying to connect to that. Okay, now so right now RDP is what? Working right now. So this will come up, but in order to get the ping down, look at here, let's use up arrow key, ping. Right now ping is not working. Why is that? Because if I go to back my what, EC2, that's a good problem to see. Okay, I go to EC2, I go to my what, security group. Okay, again this is running instance, right? And when I come down, this is my public IP address, 13.58.67.7, which I'm trying to ping. Okay, now look what happened. Let's look at the what, my what, security group. The security group gives us RDP, HTTP, and HTTPS. So there's no ICMP. So right now when I say inbound, look what happened. I've only allowed HTTP, RDP, and HTTPS. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to edit. Then I'm going to add rule here. Then I'm going to pick what? Here, all ICMP what? IPv4, okay? And then I'm going to say what? Any IP. So anyway, I'm going to save it. All right, let's see if ping works right now. It still is not working. So let's just wait. Now it comes up. So that's what we learned, that the most important about it, not only you have to give RDP, you have to ICMP right now. So I'm pinging the what? The server right now. And the server will come up. It's still in the progress. So meanwhile it's coming up. Let's go create a what? In our diagram, let's go create another EC console, but I'm going to put it what? In the private subnet, okay? Now notice that. Let's go back to my diagram again. Again, look at the diagram. This is what? 10.0.1.0. That's the internal public. Like when I go back to my diagram, if I go to EC2, and when I go back to running instance, I can see that this is web server 1. Now look at that. This is the public IPS, which I have it. When I go down, I will see my what? Private IPS, which 10.0.1.238 is. And that's the one we got it from where? 10.0.1.0. Now I'm going to create another instance 2, but I'm going to put in this private subnet. So these guys cannot access to internet. I'm sorry, from internet you cannot go to here, but these guys can access the internet, okay, for later on. So let's go there. So what I'm going to launch what? Instance, okay? I'm going to go down. Again, I'm going to pick up the what? Something easy and simple. I'm going to pick something free. Windows 2000, let's say 8 R2. I'm going to pick that one. Select. Okay. I'm going to pick from field tier. Next, configure instance. Okay. Then here, you got to be careful. I'm going to pick up what? The ASM test VPC. Okay. Be careful with that. Now here, we're going to pick what? Private IP address. Now look at this, by default it's disabled. That's what we want. So you want to pick what? Private. Private is going to be 10.0.2. something, which we're going to see later on. Then I'm going to add the storage. Leave at default. Next, add tag. I'm going to click add tag here again. Okay. Let me see here. Name. I'm going to take name tag. Now what I'm going to name it, let's call that ASM database. Okay, then I call it what? Private. So I'm going to call that private. That's going to be only what? Private website. Then I'm going to next configure secure group, right? Now here, since I pick what? I think I picked something with SQL. Now I do RDP, okay? Now this is securities, right? But what I want to do, I want to select what? Existing. I'm going to pick which one? RDP, HTTP, and actually the name, this name has to be changed later on to what? ICMP. So let's pick that one, okay? So I can RDP, HTTP, and HTTPS. From where? This one, only I can go from here to here, okay? From here to here, I can do that. And we're going to see that. I'm going to review. Okay, warning, you will not be able to connect this send at IMI, require port blah blah to open to order to have access blah blah, all the current continue, okay? So no big deal, okay? All right. Again, I think because I picked with this one with the database, no big deal. Launch. Here, I acknowledge I have access to this. I'm going to choose what? Existing pair. Okay, so I'm going to pick that one. Launch what? Instance. Okay, then I'm going down and view what? Instance. So right now what's happening, this is pending right now, it's doing like that. Now let's see if this guy came up. Okay, look at this. This is my what? Web server 1 is, okay? I connected that. The password, I have it right here. Let me copy this. I'll copy here. Copy. Hopefully this is correct way. I'm gonna right click and what? Paste. And remember me. And let's put the mouse here. Let's paste it again. Oops. Let's paste. I want to show it here. Okay. Then I'm going to say what? Okay. So right now I'm connected to them. Say yes. Now let's see what happened. I'm connecting to the live what? Web service. Right now it's coming up. Okay. So now let's look at this. 1358670 okay. So look at here. This is my what? Private IP address 10.0.123.8 is, okay. And this is my public is US East 2, and this is the PC name is, which I don't like that, okay. So what I'm going to do is exactly like Microsoft version. I'm going to go here. I'm going to right click what? Let's go my computer. Right click properties. I'm going to change the name, and I'm going to call it. I'm going to change name. I'm going to call that web server 1. I'm going to click OK. You have to reset. I'm going to close. Okay, I'm going to reset later on. Now let's see if this guy has access to internet. So I'm going to go right here, go to command prompt. I'm going to type in ipconfig. Now notice that 10.0.1.23 is that one. 10.0.1.1 is one of the default gate. One I always going to give 3 IP addresses going to be reserved. One of them is right here, 10.0.1.1. Okay, let's see if I can ping 8.8.8.8. That's going out to internet. Okay, see, I can go what? Ping. Okay. Now let's see if I can open up the what? The internet from here. By default, we should be able to what? Access to what? Internet. So I'm going to type google.com. Okay. Okay, you're going to see this message. Let me get rid of this message. We won't see that anymore. Add all of that. So I'm access to the internet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to here. If I can find them. Okay, so right now, as you see that I'm access to what? Internet, okay? Oops, come on. Okay. So right now I have what? Access to what? Internet, okay? Now look at this. This is, let's remember that. So what I'm going to copy this. Control C. 10.1.0.238. Let's go back to here. Let's go to EC2 right here. And connect here. And then I'll go back to here. Right here. See, this is my private IP. I'm going to copy this, right click, copy. And I'm going to put it what? In here. So this is my private IP address. So let's have it here. And this is my what? Public IP address. Copy. Paste. Okay. So these are the above for what? Now here is the information for my what? Private network. Okay, which we're going to put it right there. Now right now let's go back to this guy. Okay, so right now I'm connected here. Okay, but notice that this is my what? Private IP address right here. Okay, 10.0.0.285. So I'm going to copy this, and this is for ASM DB private. Let me copy this. Okay, so Control C right here. Okay, now let's see if I can ping this guy from this PC. So I'm going to copy that. I go back to what? To my main PC right here. Then I go command prompt. I ping. And I right click and what? Paste. Again, I'm doing 10.0.21.05. Let's see if I can ping it. Voila, I can ping that. Why I can ping that? Let me explain to you why is that. Very important. Why is that? Because first of all, this guy has what? If you look at the view here, has what? ICMP what? Turn on. Where's ICMP right here? See, ICMP is what? Turn on. That's why you can ping that. Now, why I can ping that? Because is what? Same network is 10.0.0. So why is ping that? Because when I look at the routing table, this guy right here, let's go to routing table. Where is the routing? I'll go to VPC, and I'll go to where? Routing table. When I go to this one, public routing table right here, see that? Any network on what? 10.6.6.0 is going to be where? Connected there. And also, okay? So any network local is going to be connected. This default is, okay? Now this one, it has no what? Subnet. If I come down, and also see that 10.0.0.16, right? You can what? Ping it. So I can put my private subnet to also there. Let's put it there. I'm going to edit. I'm going to put the private subnet on the what? On this main one. Save. Okay. All right. So let's summarize what we did right now. So far, what we did, we made these guys who will become public accessible, and these is private. Now, I want to make sure these guys can access to what? Internet. That will be later on. We're going to use NAT instance and NAT gateway. But let me put a web server here. Make sure that is we can access with the web server. So what? Okay. So what we want to do? We want to on this public subnet, which I have an EC2 console, I want to put a website that I can access from internet. That means I have to install what? IIS. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my PC, which I'll call it, I rename it, and I call it web server. When I reboot it, so I got a name, okay? So this is my public IP address. As you see that, I still can what? Ping it that public IP address, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to go start server manage, okay? What you want to do, there's something called roles. I have already installed. I just want to show you how you do that. You click role, okay? See, I already installed the web server IIS. But what you do, you say add roles. You say next, and all you have to do is just click this one, next, 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 and install it. So I've done that, okay? So let me cancel here. Now we're going to test this, okay? So let me close this. Now look at the private IP is 10.0.1.238, okay? So I'm going to open up the web browser right here, and I'm going to type in what? 10.1.2.38. So this is the default website, okay? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just create a basic HTML and point it to here, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go start, administrative tools, okay? And there's something called what? Right here. It's called IIS manage, if I can find it right here, okay? I'm going to right click this, send to desktop. So we have it in my desktop right here. So I'm going to go back to here, okay? I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click on this one. This is default website, is right here, okay? Now look at here, this is default what? I want to show where the path is, okay? When I double click default document right here, you see that is right. These are what happening here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new text document. I'm going to go start, computer, C drive. I'm going to go to where inet pop. I'm going to go www roots right here. This is the welcome is, okay? What I'm going to do, I'm going to right click here as a new text document, okay? Text document, I call that index .html. Okay, now you gotta be careful here what's happening here. I'm gonna open this. Okay, this is a text document right now. I just want to show later on when I open this, I'm gonna put a code HTML, then I'm gonna write this is Hamid web server 1. Okay, then I'm gonna close it with what? Tag HTML. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, now I'm going to save this. Save. Okay, now the key is right now here. See, this extension does not show up. You gotta be careful. What you have to do, you gotta go start here, go in search, type in folder option. Okay, go to a folder option. That's where you have to be careful. You're gonna go view. Now here, look at what happened here. It says hide protected operations and hide extension. So you want to uncheck this. Make sure you uncheck that. Then click OK. Now look what happened. You have what? Index.html.text. So I have to right click this, rename it, and get rid of what? What? Text. Okay. Then we'll say yes. And when I right click this, let's see if I open it. See, it shows like this. Okay. Now, in order to get this, what I have to do, this is the key part is close all tab. If I go back to my Explore right here again, if I type that IP address 10.1 see now it's pointing to what? Hamid web server 1. So this is web server 1 is okay. So it changed to that one too. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now from internet, if I go to my internet right here, I should be able, if I type this IP as 135.867, I should see the web server. Why? Because I allowed that. So let's go back to my here. See, I can ping here. I'm going to open the web browser. I'm going to open new tab. Remember, this one could not do it here. So this is the, make sure this is the correct one. 135.867. Now I'm going to what? Press enter. Voila. I see the web server. So what happened? Let's summarize it. Let's finish it. Right now from internet people right here, I put an instance EC2 called web server 1. Now people from here, they can access to web server 1. Okay. Why is that? Because I go back to my here. I go back to my EC2 console. I go back to running instance right here. I go back to this web server. I did allow what? Look at here. I have allowed what? RTP, HTTP, HTTPS. Now watch this. If I go back to here, let's look at the security group, inbound. Whenever we create that, we have HTTP and HTTP is allowed. So if I click edit, watch this. If I go remove what? HTTP. Let's go remove what? This one and what? That one. I click save. Now watch this. When I press enter, now look what happened. Waiting, it's still waiting. So it's trying to, but it cannot do it. Look at this. It's just circling. Why is that? Because of what? The security group. It's very important to know that we create a security. See, it's still circling. Let's go back and let me show you that here. Oops, sorry about that. Right here, when I go back to my EC2, I go back to here, running instance, I go to web server 1. When I look at this, look at the view inbound, I do not have what? HTTP. When I go click here, I inbound, look at inbound, I remove what? HTTPS. So this is very important. In order people access that, see this says what? You come to HTTPS from what? Any source. So you have to understand that this is called what? Security group. It's stateful, okay? Make sure it's important to know that. Later on, we're going to do NACO, which is Network Access Control List. That one, you could have a source and destination, you can have more granular. Now look at here, not found, okay? So what I'm going to still circling. So when I'm going back here, I'm going to go back to my security group right here. Okay, I'm going to go what? go up here, edit, and then add rule, and then I'm gonna put what? HTTP. All right, so let's go back to here. If I can find it, HTTP right here. Then I'm gonna source, I'm gonna say what? Anywhere. Anywhere, that include everybody. IPv6 and IPv4. Save. Now go back here, let's refresh it. Voila, this comes up. Okay, so that will conclude our what? Diagram. Again, I want to make sure you understand that we created subnet 1, public subnet 10.1.0, private subnet. Right now I can go from here to here, but I can go from here to here. Why not? Because it does not have what? It's a private subnet. And these guys cannot get access to these guys. But I can access here from where? Here. If I want to go from here, I have to make a connection from here to here, okay? I can do that too. But right now, later on, we're going to talk about NAT instant and NAT gateway. That means I want to make sure this private subnet can access that. So that will conclude our test, and I just want to show you our website. If you go to our website, this is asme.com. If you go to blogs, then go to Amazon. We have a bunch of Amazon things, Amazon that, and if you click on the what? Amazon creating with Amazon VPC, you're going to see everything kind of like what I did here. Create VPC, security group, insight into your VPC. And we didn't talk about Elastic. Elastic is a public IP address that would fix there. That means every time that you reboot your things, your instance, it will have the same IP address. Right now, look at the IP address is what? Is this one. If I shut down my instance or the pause and reboot it again tomorrow, I'm going to get different IP address. But Elastic IP address allow you to be fixed, okay? So everything is right here in our what? Website. Thanks so much. And again, if you need to reach us, this is our number 301-984-7400. Thank you. And next video, we're going to talk about the security group and NACOs, network access control. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.